We welcome to the show Jane Monheit. Hello Jane, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not bad. So what have you been up to?
Oh gosh, quite a lot. Quite a lot. Lots and lots of touring and motherhood at the same time.
Oh, congratulations. When did this happen then?
Oh, my son's 3.5, and yeah, we've toured basically nonstop with him since he was 3 months old. He loves it. He really does. If he didn't, I wouldn't, be doing this way, but he really likes it a lot. He loves going on airplanes and seeing new places every day, and the guys in the band are like his unofficial uncles, So it's a beautiful thing. He's a very happy kid.
What music do you listen to?
Well, honestly, right now, a lot of our music listening at home is tailored to what we want our son to learn and be exposed to. So it's a really broad mix of things. Like right now, downstairs in my house, the soundtrack to Star Wars is playing.
Oh, great.
My son is obsessed with John Williams and loves all of his movie scores so much and listens to them all the time, Superman and Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all of this great movie score writing is my son's favorite thing in the world right now. So we're playing a lot of those, and it's kind of interesting, just having your whole life, have a movie score in the background. It's like I'm cooking breakfast to these like majestic horns, It's really funny, but my son loves it, so it's cool.
Do you think your son will one day be a singer or play an instrument?
Well, he's already shown that he'll have the ability to if he chooses it. But right now he's just sort of unfocused and loving everything. When I was his age, I was already singing, and when my husband was his age, he was already playing drums. But he's different from us. He loves to do both things. He loves a lot of things. So he's going to have his own path. I'm not sure yet what he's going to love most.
Yeah, it's probably too early to say.
Yeah.
Your last album, Home, was released in 2010. Are you planning on releasing a new album soon?
Yes, actually, we're in the planning stages now. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to record, but it's hopefully going to be this spring. And I'm excited. It's time. My last album came out in fall of 2010, so it's really time to make another. I'm looking forward to it immensely.
That sounds exciting. What's going to be on there? Will it be mostly American songbook songs?
It's going to be, standards, and I'm sure a lot of standards like all of my previous records, and some Brazilian things I think on this record, and I'm not sure yet. I haven't really chosen all the tunes, but I'm looking to find some music that I really respond to emotionally, some songs that I can really express and sort of give my all to and just kind of sing my heart out. That's what I'm really looking for.
You've received Grammy nominations for 2 of your recordings. Who has influenced you from the jazz world?
Well, first and foremost, probably Ella Fitzgerald, Judy Garland, Sarah Vaughan. I mean, all of the greats in one way or another. In a lot of genres. I mean, in terms of jazz, Ella, Sarah, Carmen, Keely Smith, singers like that, Helen Merrill, But outside of jazz, there's a lot of important influence, too. I grew up hearing a lot of musical theater, a lot of bluegrass. I love Bonnie Raitt and Maura O'Connell and Bernadette Peters and Barbara Cook and all different kinds of great singers, who are very expressive and have good technique and don't sort of lose their soul to the technique, That's kind of like an ongoing theme in singers that I love. And yeah, so my influences come from a pretty wide range of places.
You've performed at some pretty amazing venues, including the White House, but which is your favorite?
Oh, gosh. That's so hard because every place is different and great in its own way. I think probably the place that's had the most impact on us as musicians is Brazil, because there's this, massive love of music there, and whenever we go, it's crazy. It's like we play clubs and we play, big festivals. And we get these huge audiences of people that sing along with us and dance and just have a wonderful time and are just, celebrating music the whole time. It's really intense, and it really recharges us as musicians to go there. And we try and hear a lot of live music when we go there, too, and that's really great as well. But other than that, New York City, my hometown, man, that is pretty much the greatest because, the audience is full of family and friends. And, when you're a jazz musician, like you make it in New York and you're doing a week at one of the big clubs, it's an honor. It's still an honor to me after all these years to do a week at a club in New York.
I went to the Blue Note a couple of years ago. I saw Chris Botti. God, he was fantastic. But your favourite spot is the Birdlands, isn't it?
Birdland is really my favorite. I love the Blue Note, too. We play it every year. But Birdland I love because it's a really, really appropriate room for me in a lot of ways. Birdland has really embraced singers. It's just a wonderful room for singers. And so many different kinds of singers come through. Birdland does a lot of cabaret singers, too, which is interesting. They do, on Monday nights, they'll do all sorts of different things, people's projects and more cabaret, singer-songwriters, things like that. You see a lot of different types of singers coming through the room, and I like that about it. I really do. But the Blue Note, is, an amazing place, and one of the lovely things about the Blue Note, too, is that it's a chain worldwide. So there's amazing Blue Notes everywhere, and you go and you feel at home, and it's wonderful. But Birdland is really my home away from home.
If I was coming over to New York right now, where would you suggest for a night out?
Oh, gosh, I don't know anymore. I do not know anymore. I would have been able to tell you that in my 20s, but now I can tell you all about great places to bring children. But if I ever go for a night out, it's always to Birdland. But I can highly recommend Birdland for going to hear music, certainly, in any of the great jazz clubs. Yeah. They're all amazing. Smalls is like the greatest hang in the city. Because it's an interesting vibe at Smalls. Not only do you have incredible jazz musicians on stage, but that's where musicians go to hear each other. So you're liable to see somebody that you idolize at the bar, just watching the show. It's a cool thing. It's where jazz musicians go. It's where they go to hang out together and hear music. So that's really a great, great hang. But there's new places all the time. The scene is always changing, and now I'm just like, at the time when all the hot shows are starting, I'm reading bedtime stories, so I don't know anymore. No idea.
We have a great jazz club in London called Ronnie Scott's. Just wondering when you was last over here.
I think it was May of 2007. It was a while ago. And that was actually my last date in London. I have not played London in so long, and I really don't know why. I miss London so much I can't even tell you. And I had such a wonderful time there. Always, I used to play Queen Elizabeth Hall almost every year. I played Pizza Express a bunch of times, and I loved that place, too. And I played Ronnie's, and I did a lot of hanging out at Ronnie's, too. Probably more hanging out than actually playing gigs at Ronnie's,
It's a good place to hang out.
I was always in, the downstairs bar.
Yeah.
I was down there a lot. But I had a lot of friends in London. But I think I should be coming back through probably this summer to play a show. I'm not exactly sure if it's definite yet. But I miss London terribly. I miss it so much. I've always said, if for some reason I didn't live in New York anymore, that's where I would want to be. I come from a very British family.
Do you?
And so traveling to London was a big deal for me. It was like, I've got history here, My mother's side of the family is English and Scottish, and so it was. Yeah,
London's great. And New York's great.
It really is. And they're alike. They're similar. I think, they remind me a lot of each other, and that's why I love them both so much.
So whereabouts in America are you touring? Are you touring all over?
Yeah, all over. It's just kind of nonstop all over the place in the States, which is great. There are the venues that we return to every year that we love, and then there's always new ones popping up. Like this month, I'm going to a bunch of venues I've never been to before in places like, Kentucky, and, and I normally don't get to that part of the country. Usually it's the coast and the Midwest. You know, usually I don't get down to more southern places, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, it's just nonstop in the States.
Yeah,
and detours to other countries.
That's the way you like it, though, isn't it? To always be busy.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, live music is the most important thing in this genre. You know, when we're playing jazz and just singing the way I do, it's like staying on stage and doing it live. That's essential. You know, it's different than pop music where it's really about the record you're making and the production, and then when you do go on tour, it's an event. You know, where everything is perfectly choreographed and staged. You know, that's not what we do. So it's important for us to stay on stage a lot, and I certainly need it. I mean, I get very depressed when I'm not singing. You know.
You must get such a buzz from performing.
Oh yeah, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. It's pretty much amazing, and I couldn't live without it.
How did it all start for you? Did you sing at a young age?
I started singing, you know, as soon as I could talk. And, you know, as I could, you know, be on stage in school and stuff like that, I was. You know, I was singing solos with the choir at town events and all that kind of stuff when I was still really small, 8, 9 years old, you know. And then I started singing professionally at 16.
And was there a moment when you knew this was for you, or did you always think you'd be a singer?
I always thought I would. Really, nobody could have ever convinced me that I wasn't going to make this work. But determined, and that's probably why I've been able to make it happen, you know, just from confidence and perseverance. Confidence goes a long way in business.
And also, well, of course, it's a lot of hard work, isn't it? You have to put in the hours.
Yeah, I mean, a lifetime of practicing. I mean, as a kid, you know, we would come home from school and the other kids would be outside playing and I'd be inside singing or playing piano, you know, or listening to records and all of that. And then when I was older, I went to a very big high school with a very big music department, and I was in every choir. And by the time it was my senior year of high school, I was teaching the jazz choir. And I did community theater, and I did every musical and play that we put on in school. It was every opportunity I had to learn more music or to perform I took. And it was essential. You know, I grew massively so that by the time, you know, I had to get on stage and really start doing things for real, I was ready.
All right then, Jane. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck with the new album when you do it, and let me know when it's going to be out, and I'll get it on the air for you.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, gosh, I'm just dying to come back. And we're working on it. We are working on it. So hopefully maybe over the summer.
Great. All right then. Thanks a lot, Jane.
Thank you so much.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.